Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 4 with our Strength of the Fallen deck. I've done a few changes to this. I took out a Nighthowler and 2 Communes, like I said, went up in one more Jungle Hollow, and put 2 Brain Maggots main board. So I'm hoping that this will work out a little bit better, and we'll be able to disrupt the hand with the Brain Maggots. This is a very good hand. This is an amazing hand, actually. I'm thinking the 10 ways or 12 ways to get cards in your graveyard was a little bit overkill. So I decided to go down to just 10 and add that 21 land source. And we'll go and fetch for... I don't like going up against another control for our last match. This is kind of a weak hand against control. But I think we just go get a green source is fine. We'll be annoying and sack our Evolving Wilds before his Polluted Delta. Get a green source. And we'll Satyr Wayfinder next turn. See if he Satyr Wayfinders. Yep, so this is going to be we've seen this match. He gets a Garruk in his graveyard, which is not the best feeling when that's one of your win cons. But he does find the value out of the Wayfinder. And we'll do the same thing. And if we find a forest, but 2 relevant cards go to the graveyard that we want in our hand, and Torment goes to the graveyard, which is also not that great versus his deck, so... Kiora is really hard for this deck to beat. I'd love a rematch versus the white-blue Heroic. I think it's something we can easily race. Might as well make the trade. Nah. Make him waste the removal. Yeah, because we're definitely going to be grabbing a black source here. Thinning out our deck some more. And we will just Strength from the Fallen here. See if it gets countered. Only gets a whopping +1/+1. But we'll attack in for 2. And he's down to a 16. So no Kiora this turn, which is going to be very awesome. He probably does have some sort of Sultai Charm or Hero's Downfall, or even a Bile Blight in his hand. So we'll most likely just Brain Maggot to see exactly what is in his hand. And we can still even Hooting Mandrils after that. We have a lot of irrelevant targets in our graveyard. So I think that's the play. We'll definitely just Brain Maggot. Might have wanted a Satyr Wayfinder before that. And it's a Bile Blight Dig. Sultai Charm. We take the Sultai Charm, I guess, or the Dig. A lot of counters. Attacking with the Satyr Wayfinder. And he does block. So I'm thinking the Mandrils is the right card here. which he'll probably charm. I can't believe he didn't Disdainful Stroke that, actually. Okay, cool. So he Sultai charms it. He got Disdainful Stroke, Bile Blight, Bile Blight. So at this point, let's make him use a Bile Blight. And that way we can get another Satyr Wayfinder out. Yep. Which means we're not putting anything in our graveyard, which is fine with me. Gives us another Satyr Wayfinder. You know he has Disdainful Stroke, Bile Blight, Disdainful Stroke, and one other. This finds us more useless stuff. At this point, just a black source is fine. We'll attack him with the Brain Maggot. And hope he draws into a Thoughtseize next turn. Yeah, perfect. Other than that, we are flooded. Which is the bad news. And it looks like he drew into just a dig anyway. Which is going to fill back up his hand, find him exactly what he needs. Still, we have 4 cards in our graveyard, though, so all of our creatures are going to be semi-threats. He does still have the one more Bile Blight, which I do believe is going to be the right play to bestow it. No, he just Disdainful Strokes it, if that's the case. So never mind. False alarm there. We just Torment. Just plain old cast the Herald of Torment. And then we'll swing in. I'm sure he'll Bile Blight the Brain Maggot to get back the dig. And then get some more card advantage. That's actually surprising. So I think you'd want to dig. Down to a 9. 2 Disdainful Strokes, 1 more Bile Blight, 2 unknowns. It's going to give him a blocker. And it found a Polluted Delta. Still no Kiora or Ashiok. Or Ugin. We haven't hit a Boon Satyr yet anywhere in our deck, which is going to be very powerful because end of turn Boon Satyr can just flat out win the game. But there's Kiora. On the Wayfinder, which means we need to draw into an enchantment and attack into Kiora. Boon Satyr. Oh, I hate actually casting anything here. It'll be interesting what he does with Kiora. If he ticks Kiora up. Or if he decides to draw a card. 2 Disdainful Stroke and a Bile Blight in his hand. So Kiora most likely will die next turn. Because we are going to end a turn Boon Satyr. which he's going to have to use his last Bile Blight on, which will give me some leeway. And I'll make him do it right now if he's going to do it. Okay. Unfortunately for us, though, we did not hit the card. Then we need to pump him up. So just throw a Satyr Wayfinder in front of it. And most likely Bile Blight off the Brain Maggot. Oh, Downfall. So was he out of Bile Blights? Did he use the last one? Because I thought he has 2 Disdainful Strokes then in his hand. But unfortunately, hard to win a game when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're way above halfway through our lands with less than halfway through our deck. And we have to hit Kiora next turn, which is going to be probably not doable unless we somehow get like a Herald of Torment on our Brain Maggot. But he can actually just counter that, so we'll block it. He wants to Bile Blight it, is what I'm thinking. Maybe that wasn't the right play. Yeah, that was actually a stupid play on my part. What I should have done that other turn is Boon Satyr on my own Satyr Wayfinder, killing his Satyr Wayfinder. And there he'll Crux. And then he can dig through time. At this point, Commune's kind of weak, except in that I can get a Pharika, which I do not hit a Pharika. We just a Nighthowler in more lands. Which we will cast a Nighthowler. It's huge. It's lethal. Means he's going to have to keep using Kiora. But he's going to dig here to find another removal. And if he does, he can use the ultimate Kiora. Which absolutely means he's got an answer for my Nighthowler here. We have another Commune, which still does not equal a Kiora, but it does equal a Boon Satyr. Or, excuse me, a Pharika is what I'm trying to say here. We'll attack him with the Nighthowler. And he's going to be forced to block with the Kraken. No, he's just going to Hero's Downfall it. Which means he can attack him with the Kraken. And I don't know if I have enough cards in my graveyard for the Boon Satyr. We'll see here exactly how much this provides. Yeah, he'll dig to find a response to it. Which it looks like it blocks. So he could have just flat out missed. So there's one Kraken down. And a Crux. And we hit another land. I think we're out of lands. And the Krakens are going to overwhelm us. The only thing that can win the game here is a Pharika, which is a 1-of. Brain Maggot won't do it. I'll die next turn. And you know what? We want to see what's in his hand, actually. But it was a close game. It was just 1 or 2 cards off here of having relevant threats instead of lands. And I think we could have got this. We still get a look at his hand. It was disable, and his last dig. Okay, so lots of digs in the deck. We'll bring in the Brain Maggots, of course. I think they're very good. And bring in the last Pharika, and then also bring in the Whips. And then we can take out any sort of late, like Nighthowlers seem okay. Torments, I don't even think we really need to give much evasion, so I'm going to take out a couple of them. And I'm going to go down 2 Grave Strengths, I believe. I want to keep the threats. Well, Mandrils are actually... We'll keep in 1, and then we'll keep another Grave Strength in. We'll submit this. This is a cute little hand. We can actually go that first turn. Scarhide. We have a Whip. I'm sure he's got rid of his Disdainful Strokes out of his deck. And this will put some pressure on him. I'd love to see another Gnarled Scarhide next turn. That'd be ideal. I believe at this point we just grab another black source. Tack in. But unfortunately, we need to draw a land this following turn. Especially if he puts in an untapped land. It's not a Bile Blight, though. But it is a Satyr Wayfinder. Which does indeed find him all lands. And he takes the Temple of Malady. We do find our land. That is very, very clutch. But I don't even know if it is going to be the Torment. I might just want a Grave Strength here and try to push through on that end. And we do find enough to survive the Satyr Wayfinder, which he will block. It comes into play tap land, is most likely to come out next turn. We find a lot of lands in the graveyard. Not happy about that, because we do need to hit into 1 more green source for sure. And Temple of Deceit pretty much guarantees that we can hit with Gnarled Scarhide, except for Murderous Cut. So Murderous Cut could come out here, and that looks like what he's going to do. No, it's gonna be Tasigur. Should get a Jungle Hollow. That is okay. Well, attacking with the Gnarled Scarhide. And he lets it go through, which is awesome, because now we will put out the Herald. Most likely has another tap land coming in with the Temple of Malady, which we know is in his hand. He's far away from doing Murderous Cuts or any other delve. Tasigur's not the greatest. I can go above him now. Plus, he doesn't care. Does not respect the Herald. I'm thinking of Bile Blight then. And we do have that become immense, which is just amazing. If he does try to Bile Blight it. He's going to cure on the Gnarled Scarhide, and that's just as fine, because we'll become immense. And still have mana for a Satyr Wayfinder. He's down to a 4. And did he forget to play? I thought he had a Temple of Malady that he put in hand. He must have skipped his turn. I'm a little confused by that. We do get a forest out of the Satyr Wayfinder, so it hits. And we can play it, which is nice. Maybe I should have played that first, and I would have been able to have one more mana up than with the Commune. But we should be okay. I'm thinking he still has that Temple of Malady. Didn't he take Temple of Malady from back up here? Satyr Wayfinder. Temple of Deceit. Plays Temple of Deceit. Yeah. So I think he just accidentally skipped the turn. He's going to downfall on the Torment, which means now he's got to block the Gnarled Scarhide and just hope I don't have something else that can come out. Yeah, this is going to kill no matter what. No, he'll be down to a 1 and block this Gnarled Scarhide. So I think I'll make him kill his Tasigur. And I have lethal staring him down next turn. And if he goes Crux, then I have... Nope, can't go Crux, so it has to be like Kiora. And that'll guarantee we get a whip. Alright, that actually works too. Another Cure. So I'm thinking we just resolve the whip. And hope there's no Disdainful Stroke just chilling in his hand. Alright, he's down to a 4. And we do have a Nighthowler in our graveyard, do we not? Yes. Which is lethal. But he has a Sultai charm that takes care of the whip. Okay, and now we're getting a little bit flooded. We'll Commune. And we'll find, I believe, just a Brain Maggot here. Over the Gnarled Scarhide. And we will take that Crux. He's got a Garruk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which he can cast next turn. If he draws into an untapped land. But he'll draw Drown in Sorrow anyway. Which leaves us with another land. And this is how he gets back in the game if he just gets a land here for Garruk. Got Crux, Garruk, and one other. Strength from the Fallen can come into play, makes everything a threat. And just keep this Llanowar Wastes to make him guess. Still doesn't hit his land for Garruk, but you gotta think he's got tons of control. Satyr Wayfinder again, which he might have to use a Crux on. Gotta be thinking he's drawing into his digs by now. And we miss completely with the Wayfinder. And here comes that dig that we know he top deck into. Of course. And I think Garruk will be the end of us. And, yeah, so he grabs a Bile Blight and a land, I'm sure. But it is still, it comes into play tap land. But at this point, a Spiteful Returned is kind of useless. In fact, I probably just should have kept that in my hand for the Boon Satyr. This kind of forces out that Garruk. And most likely that will be game. Puts out a Death Toucher. Scarhide's not going to do anything. I think we just keep it in our hand. This is the problem with this deck. I don't have any way to gain card draw. He just keeps plussing with the Garruk. And it's going to be short work, because what does this +8 even do? Oh, wow. Yep, just a few cards away from this. Finding some more ammo. Guess we just cast the Gnarled Scarhide. But he'll have another Death Toucher that he can just put out and block. But we have a Boon Satyr, so we can top deck into one of our last Herald of Torments unless I side them out. We can still top deck into kind of like a Pharika, which is in here, which will give tons of Death Touchers each turn. Could actually even overwhelm him. Now, if he does swing with everything, we could just plain win here. But does he have removal? I can't remember if he does or not. 3 cards in hand. Most likely removal. And I'm hoping he just made a mistake here. And we can capitalize on that mistake. Get some more stuff in the graveyard. Let's use it. Unfortunately, it's sorcery speed, not instant speed. Does appear like he's got the removal, or he's digging for sure. He's silencing off the Boon Satyr, which means we die next turn. So let's see what we would have drawn into. Where were those Pharikas? We needed Pharikas to hit. There's one, 5 down. So the deck, again, has some issues in Standard, but we'll continue to play it a little bit. Maybe I'll try a non-budget version on my channel over at roguedeckbuilder.com. We'll go over into the deck tech here, or the wrap-up here. This has been Kevin with roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again, and hope to see you soon.